Okie dokie, but we are in game here, and it's going to be a best of 5, as is tradition. And spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, playing for Team Iron Chain, it's souL.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, it is the blue Zerg player from Blazer. It is Bly.
All right, we'll see. I mean, well, both of these guys, like, we'll see exactly how the games are going to go. Like, Bly, he has a bit of aggressive tendency and he plays in everything, so you really got to be careful about what he's going to do for. But, no, I mean, Cyber Forest, one of the newer maps here.
It is. I kind of like it. Kind of like how it looks. I like foresty type tiles here. We got weird doodads all over the place. Still kind of trying to figure out what some of them are. The map is so new, but
yeah, I hadn't really paid attention to that. We got 4 squares.
Right.
I don't know. It's like
these breakable rocks here in the middle, which, as far as I can tell, just provide additional attack paths. The heck are these for?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny how there's just so much going on a map, but then, like, if you don't look for it, you don't really see it, in a sense. Like, no, yeah, those 2 rocks are there. We'll see. I mean, I guess,
or do they knock
for funneling armies down and whatnot?
Yeah, it's got to be something like that. We'll see if that ever comes into play.
Yeah, anyway, this game, Bly's going for an early spawning pool to start things off with a bit of that aggression. We'll see if souL's prepared for it. Of course, he's following it up with a hatchery, so just the sort of, like, I'm going to be a little bit aggressive at the start as far as an opening goes. Whereas souL getting out his Reaper. And it all really comes down to what the Terran's going to do to deal with this. If the Terran sends their Reaper just right across the map, they can be... It's a little bit dangerous, but that's why you have the safety Marine behind it. And then we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, it really comes down to, is the Reaper going to save the day or not? A Marine really can't do much against these Lings, especially if they're well controlled by the Zerg player. But
like
yeah, the Reaper finds them. Oh, but this, that was almost a surround.
Oh god.
Reaper gonna have to micro very well here, and he does. So he doesn't end up dead. Combat drugs are gonna help him out here. That was close. That was very close to just losing that natural base command center.
Yeah, wow. That's just that Reaper being caught off would have been absolutely huge for Bly, because he's following this up with more aggression here. Got a Roach Warren already on the way, and that means a lot of aggression incoming, but souL, keeping that Reaper alive, is going to check for a third base and should probably have a bit of a heads up that this attack is going to be coming, depending on what he does with this Reaper. But here comes in those Lings towards his natural, but souL's command center is done.
Yeah, and they can go ahead and whack on this command center as much as they want. They're not going to kill it anytime soon. There will be Hellions out in time to deal with that. Or maybe the Reaper could even come home. We'll see what he decides to do, but he's more interested in actually trying to pick off some of these drones. Getting right in this mineral line, getting a great scout off. Queen's not able to take him down before he can get all through, get that full scout, and maybe even kill a drone here at the natural base. Oh, no. Changes into a sport crawler at the last second.
Micro from Bly. But basically the situation right now is Bly committed to a little bit of aggression, just got the 4 roaches. We'll see if he makes any Ravagers out of them. But just putting on a slight bit of aggression here onto his opponent, then going into droning behind it. So he's going to want to try and get something done here to sort of suppress the Terran a little bit, since it's no small commitment going for roaches early on, no matter the number, really. So
he's got the Ravagers. The Cyclone's out a little bit early here. With the Ravagers, you really want the Ravagers to be involved here. One Roach does get picked off by that lock-on ability. It's so dang good. But so far, no income for souL at all at his natural base, whereas Bly is sitting happily on 32 workers and 2 bases.
Yeah, 32 workers, following it up with a lair as well, but for now, souL just wants to be able to shut this down. The Cyclone doing wonders, gets a Ravager. Bly just not able to keep those units alive. Looks like he's just going to go on home, and souL will have held. Look at all these Marines. He should be completely fine, I think.
Yeah, the Corrosive Bile ends up actually hitting a Cyclone by accident there. But there's your double lock-on, and everybody is dead.
Yeah, that does hurt a little bit for Bly. He keeps the Overlord alive, but look at that. Oh, souL lifts the command center, but then puts it back down.
1 hit point.
Does he know that he didn't kill it?
I don't think so. He's not trying it again.
That's a bummer. But no, yeah, good defense from souL, scouting that. That's the main part of holding that rush. I mean, because rushes like that can just go very, very sour for the Terran player, but souL just did everything he needed to. Bly, though, following it up with macro, and he's just getting a 3rd base up, Roach speed on the way, and he also took 2 more gases. So that's the sort of, like, I'm going to make some Roaches number of gases. 3 gases usually for that.
Yep. 3 is usually that magic number, to be sure. But that third base being late is a problem. I think he really needed to get more damage done with those attacks early. Third base being late versus two-basing souL, who is sitting happily at 37 workers, who's teching up really, really well, who is coming in with some Cyclones to actually take down the third base of Bly. Look at this. I think he's going to get it, too. There's nothing that can stop this.
Yeah, these Cyclones don't have mag field accelerator, but they still put out a lot of damage. It just takes a little bit longer. And then the Banshee coming on in. I mean, the Cyclones lock-on cools down, but nope, that is done for. Drone's done for. That is fantastic for souL. So far, this game is looking good for him.
These Cyclones have just been MVPs of the match so far. 3 kills and 4 kills each, canceling that third base, forcing Bly to throw up his third. Again, it's a two-basing Zerg versus a two-basing Terran. Back home, souL is working on additional barracks. He's definitely bio-playing this with some tank support, it looks like, based on the factory with the tech lab, and then going to go for some medevac. So pretty standard play here from souL. He's not going to mech. Doesn't look like at this stage anyway, and the Roaches are going to start losing their utility the longer this match goes on. They have speed, but they can't catch up unless they're on creep, and now they're off creep, and now the Cyclones can actually outdistance them.
Yeah, the Cyclones, I mean, they were really just made for safety, but souL picking off a few Roaches here and there would be nice. It's just concerning for Bly. I was wondering what his plan was. He's actually going to be going for a Nidus, which, I mean, I think it was either make a bunch of Roaches and run across the map or go for a Nidus. So, going to be using this sort of new patch Nidus. And we'll see if souL's prepared for it. I mean, souL held the first round of aggression pretty well, but he's still powering up as a Terran. He's got a couple of tanks out, some Marines out. But is he going to be prepared for this Nidus? Looks like he does know about it. And can he deny it?
Yeah, it looks like he can. It is easier to kill now than it was in the previous patch.
Looks like he's actually being pulled out of position, though. The Roaches at the front. Meanwhile, some more are going to be unloading in the main. Does it go down, though? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought that surely would have finished, but that one tank just putting in the work.
Yep, it's a little bit easier to kill than it was. That tank gets the 1 kill of a Nidus Worm erupting, and now Bly is in a heap of trouble. He's got his third base down. He's now got 49 workers, but he's down to 55 compared to his opponent. His army supply is fine, but Roaches against a Marine tank Cyclone style play is just not going to do a whole lot, especially as the upgrades start kicking in here for souL. He's got the 1-1 on the way, and Combat Shield is in production too.
Yeah, now that he's got Stim, got the 1-1, it's looking very, very good for souL. Supply is equal, but that's Roach supply, so that's never a good sign for the Zerg being equal on supply when you're making Roaches. He throws up another Nidus just because he feels like he needs to attack her. Actually just going to pop one Queen out and spread creep. There's more Queens, but I mean, this is kind of cool for Bly.
Yeah, it's kind of working. I do love the Nidus throwing up creep tumors at the front style thing. It's attacking at the third base here. There are tanks and a bunch of Queens here, though, that don't actually worry that much about tanks. They can take several hits. Transfuses are good, too, but time for everyone to go home, not lose anything.
It's crazy how fast everything loads and unloads of the Niduses. It's just...
It is nice. When I use Nidus, it makes me feel like a Terran. You can get in there and do some damage and get out without losing anybody. It's great.
Oh, it's awesome. It's just kind of like a clown car, just like everything just piles out. Like clown car rolls up, just they all pop out, do their thing. But now souL going to be looking to go for some drops here. He's got he's got an upgrade lead, that's for sure. He does have to worry about these burrowed Roaches, but he's got a missile turret set up at the front, so he's really checking all the boxes here. This siege tank, it killed one Nidus. It's going to be getting another here.
Yeah, he's figured it out. One tank is enough to take down a Nidus Worm erupting. But attacking into the third base here of Bly with a bunch of Marines, 1-1 Stim Combat Shield. There's nothing here to stop this. The Roaches are coming in, but that's a lot of dead drones. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 11 workers killed by souL so far. And there's the pickup, and there's the retreat. And by retreat, I mean dropping into the main base instead.
Yeah, souL had just his free reign pretty much from this point on. He's going to move on in with his Overlord here. Just pick off that Overlord, get on out, and just... It's not really getting any better for Bly. His repeated attacks have been shut down. He went for the burrowed Roaches, but souL with the turret at the front, making that not really a possibility. The upgrades are ahead for souL. It's just a very rough situation for the Zerg player. Like, I don't know what he needs to be going for. Bly's trying to reach to Hive, and I mean, maybe if souL gives him enough time, but I get the feeling that souL is not going to give Bly enough time as he's moving across the map.
Yeah, this big old bunch of red moving across the map here. And so these rocks... Yeah, I guess they just kill them to just widen the attack path there. I don't know. Someone needs to kill those for us. We can see what happens.
Yeah, this could actually be a very good sieging position here. Up those rocks, perhaps. But either way, I don't think sieging or not, it really matters. There's just so much here for souL.
Yeah, army supply 113 to 89. He's got tanks on the high ground. He's got marines. Their 1-1 is done. Their 2-2 is on the way. Corrosive Biles are being dodged very ably by souL. He's attacking on into this third base that he's already dealt with once. He's going to go ahead and take down this hatch. Roach is coming out at the wrong time and the wrong place, getting massacred by the tanks. Burrow Roach trying to sneak on in. I don't know about this, though. There's a lot of marines around.
There is, yeah. Those roaches might just melt the second that happens. I mean, but Bly's got to try something. He's contained. Looks like he's actually going to be going for a Nidus, but where? Where is the question?
I don't know. Main base, maybe go for the base race, but they say never base race a Terran.
Yeah,
the fourth base of Bly.
The roaches, but that doesn't go well.
No, coming on again with more burrow roaches. This is a bigger number this time, and a nice fungal.
Oh,
fungal bile there.
Tanks are on siege. Bly's going for it. This is his moment, but I mean, souL with the upgrade advantage here. The Marines, I mean, they're not doing the best versus the roaches. Can Bly actually manage to clean this up? I mean, it's looking close with the bio.
He's down 2 bases, though. He might actually clean this up, but it's not enough.
GG.
Yes. souL taps out. He saw the reinforcing Marines coming across. That 2-2 was just kicking in. He was 2 base to a 3 basing, soon to be a 4 basing Terran, and that was it. Yep.
Okie dokie. I'm just going to quickly change something here.
All right.
Okie dokie, that should be a bit better now. But, all right, yeah, so that was the first game. We'll get on into the second. I mean, like, you got to respect Bly's efforts there, trying to go for the high aggression. Like, I mean, he went for the early pool, souL defended that. Then he decided to go for the Nidus, souL defended that. And then he tried to go for burrow roaches just to give him anything. It's like all these attempts to make something happen, but souL just defended everything.
Yep, just solo was on point. Defense was beautiful, killing those Nidus worms in his own base perfectly. No fuss, no muss. And then just A-moved, essentially, at that point. And that was it. I mean, it was, you know, tank positioning and some good marine micro and splits and stuff. It was fine. It was really good, but that was really a foregone conclusion there. The fungal was nice. Maybe additional fungals would have helped, but by the time the fungals came out, 2 bases were dead, and that was all she wrote. Also, I'm trying to join this lobby, but it's doing the... Hang on, let me restart the client. Everyone's favorite thing.
As always. But no, yeah, I mean, souL just looking good, powering up that game. We'll see what he's able to make happen in the second game. Like, I'm confident that Bly can really take it to a macro game, but he really does excel at that sort of scrappiness.
He does. And come on. Wow, is that seriously not working again?
Pray for Falcon to get into the lobby, guys. Let's make it happen.
Maybe we do it again and you invite me this time.
Yeah, maybe. I can try rehosting it. Yeah, it just says you're in a matchmaking queue already, so.
Yeah.
Here, I'll remake that. Oh, there was a temporary error with your request. Okay, maybe it's just BattleNet that's...
Are you just trying to create a new lobby?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, I remade that time, so we'll try getting you on again. Apologies for that, guys. Sometimes the Blizzard gods are angry or having a bad day or whatever.
All right, so you want to send me the invite this time. We'll see what happens.
Okie dokie.
Accept. Thinking about it.
Hey!
Hey!
There we go.
Opa. All right.
All right, everyone's in the lobby, and we're good to go. Load into the next game. It's going to be Kairos Junction as the map.
Excellent. Do you like Kairos Junction?
Yeah, it's not a bad map. It's a bit of an interesting one, how it sort of dictates the play. Like, it doesn't allow, like, sort of bouncing around as much, as because, I'll make my point a bit later on. But anyway, we're into the game now.
We made it.
Yes, we did. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map with an SCV already moving out on the map. It's Iron Jane's souL.
And spotting in the bottom right hand of the map, he has no idea this SUV is on the way. It's the Blue Zerg player from Blazer Esports. It is Bly.
And this game, he's going for a hatchery first, from the look of it. Or he's moving across the map with his drone. Never mind.
Oh, he's worker scouting. Bly. Or going for a proxy hatch.
You never know with this guy.
Either way, he's not going to scout. Well, he might know. If he gets up there in the main base of souL, he will know that there are proxies happening just by the lack of stuff in the main there. But if he doesn't get all the way up and he just starts throwing down a hatch in the natural base without actually checking, he's going to be in trouble. He's doing it at the third base location. He's dead.
Yeah, I've cast 1 or 2 games like this, and they're always a little bit wonky. But defending a 2-rack really comes down. And it does make things a little bit weird, because the Terran shows up with their Marines and their SCVs, and they're like, wait a second, there's no hatchery for me to try and kill at the natural here. So then they tend to go for the main base. But if Bly can, say, get up a spine crawler if he identifies that this is going on, sometimes that can go all right for the Zerg, but...
The problem is he hasn't identified it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, it makes me so sad that he sent a drone all the way across the map and didn't even check to see what was going on with souL before tossing that hatch down.
Yeah.
He's gambling so hard right now.
It's a bit of a bummer.
It is. Anyway, all the Marines. We've got 1 gas up from souL. Which is for what? He's going to start pumping out Reapers? Or I'm watching this production tab. It's all Marines all the time. What's the gas for, I wonder?
I guess he's already just planning his follow-up or something like that.
Look at this bunker.
souL,
like,
soul's
wait.
Like, wait.
Wait.
He's like, right, I'm playing against Bly. I forgot.
Oh man, there's a Roach Warren coming up, but it's not. There's nothing here for Bly.
Yeah, he wasn't
making
planning.
A queen. All right, well, I mean, caster curse, whatnot, but GG, because holy smokes.
Yeah, Bly's trying to drone drill these Marines, but waiting on the roaches or anything, just not knowing it was coming. If it was coming, he could have maybe got up a spine and forced it into a very wonky game, but holding on versus this, he's just trying to buy time. I mean, he did kill off the Marines.
He did kill a couple of them, that's true.
And the Queen's out now. So roaches are on the way. I mean, hey, maybe this is actually going to be fine for Bly.
I mean, the drone drilling stuff might have actually worked for him temporarily.
Yeah, souL overcommitted a little bit, it seems. And with 3 roaches, he's just got to pop out a few Ravagers, and then, you know, he's good to go, I guess.
And the bunker's down. So good news for souL is Factory's down. Tech Lab is down. Almost down there. So that's going to help a lot. Not even bothering with Ravager. Just like Roach.
Yeah, huh. Okay, apparently things are not going too bad for Bly. Look at this, the Queens came out on the map. That's a bit interesting, but a few Lings coming on in as well. Looks like souL manages to pick off one of the Overlords supply blocking Bly, and he does have a Cyclone on the way, which is greatly going to help him out.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Easy to kill off the Queen, easy to kill off the Roaches that are coming across the map. The Marines are doing so well right now, too. They're going to kill his Queen.
The Roach is coming in, though, so Marines got to pick off that Queen, get on out of there.
Cyclone is seconds away from completing here. The bunker at the top of the round is going to help immensely. One guy doesn't make it back to the bunker. And now here comes the lock-on, and the Roaches are all dead. They don't know it yet, but they're dead.
Yeah, there's not much Bly can do versus just this Cyclone. Like, I mean, you can micro the units like he's trying to do now, but maybe when you have 3 Roaches, it's doable, but with 2, not really, and now there's just 1, so not a lot he can do. Although a few more Roaches out for Bly, making some Ravagers.
Not bad. I actually canceled that lock-on by getting onto the high ground.
Yeah. There's 2 Cyclones now, though, for souL, and he's making sure to repair his injured one, because you don't want to get those Cyclones picked off, because their weakness really is their health. But as long as you take good care of them, they'll pay you dividends. There we go. He locks onto, the Overlord locks onto a Ravager. And looks like there's a dead one. No.
Oh, actually, keeping that alive. Pretty good stuff. Having that Overlord there for vision is really important for Bly. He needs to keep that alive. SCV's coming over to repair. souL can afford to repair here because it is 1 base to 1 base. He can make some really good trades. And if Bly doesn't expand, then souL just needs to hold at this point. So here come the 3 Cyclones. Going to try to pick off, what? Something. Actually, no. Getting forced away by just the sheer number of Ravagers and Roaches here. I almost feel like he needs a tank at this point. He is making one.
Yeah, I mean, Ravagers don't fare badly versus a tank, so I mean, I like what Bly's doing, keeping this going on. That being said, though, still back, like, he's not droned up back at home or anything. He's not tried to get up another expo, so he is really committed. Corrosive Bile's going to hit the bunker, though. That's almost fallen. And
yep, it's getting repaired quite nicely, though. Should be fine for the time being. It's pokes, right? It's pokes up. It's not really a committal.
And the concern is a Banshee's on the way here for souL. And Banshees generally spell bad news for Zerg, but Bly does have 2 queens.
Yep, 2 queens, make it a Spore back at his main base. A Spore at the front would be pretty good here, too, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, look at that. Nice find for souL. Going to be picking off an Overlord. Got to get out with those Cyclones.
Ah. Kept the Cyclones alive there, and the tank shelling from the high ground forces everybody back. Yeah, this is really well played by souL.
Yeah, he's just doing what he needs to do, it looks like. That being said, I mean, this many Ravagers can always go for it, and we'll see if Bly eventually does. There's really just, like, that one tank and the Cyclones up the ramp, then there's the Banshee, of course, but maybe he can Corrosive Bile down the tank and then go for it, because that's what Bly's really building up for. But as I say that, he's got a natural base on the way, so I guess he is just reluctantly saying, right, I know it's going to go bad for me if I commit up the ramp, so I guess I'll try and macro out of it. It's not a comfortable situation for the Zerg, but he's giving it a shot.
And he's really denying this natural base for souL. The creep spread alone is a huge problem right now. The Cyclones have to come in and scan and kill that thing, which is less mules being made. And once again, just trying to pick these units off. They do get a Ravager there. They do get a Queen, too. A lot of these units are low on HP. They've been locked on before, but not quite killed, and now he's coming in for the kill.
Look at this. The Banshee is pretty much uncontested at this point. There's 1 injured Queen if souL goes in with that, and that really can just end this rush.
Yeah, 1 Banshee, pretty great stuff. Another Overlord dies. This time Bly is not supply blocked. He was a bit prepared for that one. And Ravagers, and more Queens in production here. But here comes the Banshee. And as long as you can dodge those Corrosive Biles, you're gonna be okay. There is no anti-air here, but just the 1 Queen, as you mentioned. She is injured. Clearing out a bunch of this creep tumors would be good too. Getting your natural base down to be amazing for souL. But instead, just kind of hanging out right now. Not being aggressive, not clearing out the creep. There's the scan. And there go the creep tumors, and that should recede pretty quickly. Except for this one up here in the top left that didn't get scanned.
Yeah, that's a bummer for souL. That's why in this sort of situation, I like it when the Terran builds a Raven. Just it helps clean out all the creep on your side of the map.
Yeah, I like that too.
Saves you a lot on the scans. But for now, souL just doing this sort of dance with the Cyclones. The Spore Crawlers keeping the Banshees back. Queen actually working away on one of them. If he gets one, that would be a nice pickoff.
And she does manage to escape with 5 hit points.
That command center. Oh, that command center.
What the?
Oh, no, souL.
Can't lose this.
SCVs are coming down. Oh, man. Oh, man, the command center goes down. I was not expecting that to happen, but that wandering CC got hit hard, and this is just apparently triggering souL to go for it, and he is. Lots of tanks, lots of Marines, going to be chasing this army down. The Spore Crawler goes down, and these Ravagers really just have no choice but to retreat. However, they are quite microable versus this.
Yep, no medevacs, which is a problem here for souL, but this little forward hatchery by Bly is gonna die. I think Bly is abandoning it entirely right now. He's happy with his natural back home. He's got 31 workers, which is pretty darn good. And souL has to replant his natural, rebuild it on the spot. More creep tumors coming in for Bly. Are you kidding right now? How do you get this one?
This is why I like seeing a Raven, because just like when creep's spreading from your side of the map to the Zergs, it's never a good sign for the Terran player. Yeah, this is why I'm a big fan of the Raven. There's 1 more scan going down, cleaning some of that out, but every scan, that's like 250 minerals or something, so.
Yeah, it's like 300, I think somebody did the math on that.
Yeah, I think it's like technically 270 or somewhere around there, I don't know. But we'll see. Stim's about to finish up for souL, so he may just be about to move across the map and kill the Zerg, since Bly's out on the map with everything, not back at home defending.
He's trying, but I mean, no medevacs is huge here. Every stim, you're not recovering that health.
Yeah, some medevacs are crossing the map, though, so.
All right.
Bly's or souL's going to have that, and it's just Stim Marines put out so much damage versus this
but the tanks all get Corrosive Bile, then Zerglinged down.
Yeah, those are some good Corrosive Biles. This bio is a little very overstimmed, as you said. And, oh, man, is Bly actually going to do this? Like, I was thinking, like, maybe souL can just kill him here, but apparently not. Good defense from Bly. And he canceled souL's command center on his side of the map. Wow.
Oh.
Huh. Look at that.
What a wonky game that was. That was amazing. Yeah, I really think it all came down to killing that command center, that orbital command. If
Yeah.
souL is able to land that thing, then he's on 2 base. He doesn't feel compelled to go for the attack and overextend a little bit, and it's a much different game.
Yeah, like that was just a bit surprising. But here we are. We're going to be getting into the next game as soon as we can. souL and Bly. And then after that, we'll be having Goblin versus Namshar. 2 players I've never actually cast, I don't believe. Or I might have cast Namshar once.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched him play a lot, but never actually cast him.
Yeah, Namshar is part of Infinity Gaming, and I cast for them pretty much every Saturday, Saturday morning. So, cast quite a bit of Namshar. He's one of those really good European Zergs that there's a long list of those.
Yes, a very long list.
Yeah.
But Goblin's also on Infinity Gaming too, so that's cool. We'll be having a team match. For now, as this is going on, it's actually tied up 1-1. It was a bit questionable how Bly did it. I mean, in the end, things worked out for him, though, after that crazy 2 racks opening. But we are now getting into this game. It's currently tied 1-1, and here we are.
Yeah, that was an insane... I forgot that was a 2 racks opening in that last game. It's hilarious. All right, cool. Top left-hand corner, report Alexander. We have the blue Zerg player from Blazer Esports. It is Bly.
Oh, pardon me. And up in the top right-hand side, or bottom right-hand side of the map, it's Iron Chain souL. You know him. We've already cast 2 games of him. And oh my god, Bly. He's moving out on the map with a drone again. Does he do it again?
I mean... No.
But it's Bly, so yes.
Oh my gosh, it is Bly. Bly, come on, man. Without scouting again, by the way.
Yeah, but this time he's not getting 2 raxed.
It's true. It's going to be more effective. Although he won in the end, so how much more effective can he get? I suppose is the question here.
Yeah, souL having his barracks on his side of the map, is that going to be an advantage or a disadvantage for him? I think probably an advantage. But it does come down to the scouting.
And does nobody ever want to scout, though? Holy smokes.
They don't. Like, I'm a bad Terran player, so whenever I play versus Zerg, I always scout right after I throw up my barracks. Just so, like, I'll know if it's, like, an early pool or something like that. Gives you the peace of mind. Then you don't have to worry about microing your Reaper and whatnot.
Yeah, very true.
But souL a good Terran player, so he can get away with not sometimes. But
Man
versus
can
a
do whatever
proxy
he
hatchery,
wants.
I don't know. He is actually rallied with his Reaper, though, to his 3rd base, so he remembers.
He's going to scout it just in time to see it finish.
I think he probably cancels his command center, right, if he knows that this is coming, because there's no way it's going to get up, I don't think. Roachborn already on the way.
Yeah, Roachborn already on the way. Here we go. Ta-da! Backing on out. And let's see. I don't know. I think souL feels confident enough that he can hold this while keeping his natural. Just kidding. He canceled. Good call.
All right,
Great
bunker
call.
on the way. 2 bunkers on the way, because those roaches are on the way. That Roachborn doesn't take too long to complete. And then Bly going to just be making those as soon as he can. Really what the Terran player needs to get up is, you've got 3 choices. Usually it's a variety of both. It's usually either tank, cyclone, or banshees, in which you really want to get out to. Those are what Terran usually wants to defend with this. Last game, we saw
Banshee's your hero unit for sure.
Yeah, last game we saw the Cyclones. But the thing about the proxy hatch, unlike a normal Roach Rush, is that there is queens. There's actually anti-air, so a Banshee's not just a complete hard counter.
True fact. And there's your Cyclone. Cyclone beginning process. Overlord needs to die. High vision is so important for Bly right here. He's got 2 Overlords over here. And just getting shooed away by the Marines. But here comes your first Roach. And the Marines are shooed back inside.
Yeah, Reaper for souL. It's not able to get too much done because the Queen back in the main base will prevent any harassment. And now Ravager's hitting souL's ramp, so this is getting a little concerning for the Terran player. SCVs are pulled, but they don't want to commit too far forward. Those depots are going to be falling. The Cyclone will push this back for now, but the Overlord's on the high ground, given that vision.
Man, supply blocking souL there. That's brutal. 37 out of 31
yeah.
available supply.
souL just building 2 new supply depots, not having them really pre-queued up, because as Terran, you can generally assume that those supply depots are going to die when you're getting rushed by Ravagers. But now we'll see. Another Cyclone on the way, so souL able to hold his high ground for now.
He is, for now, is the key phrase there, because there are queens popping over here. That poor Reaper just walks into a meat grinder. Dies. Could have used him for something. Oh well, he dead now. Roach does manage to escape. Bly's doing a great job keeping his units alive, breaking that lock-on as best as he can. Nothing's really dying to this lock-on so far, but like the last game, a lot of stuff is getting bruised. And then the second lock-on is the one where you actually kill the units.
And Bly has enough Ravagers that he can just continuously bombard this ramp.
Oh, it's like the number of sentries you need to continuously force field a ramp.
See, for sentries, isn't it like 4 or something, I
I
think?
think it's 3 if it's just a single wide ramp.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, the Ravagers, they're just blindly corrosive biling that thing. Come down, you'll die. Tank set up in a position where hopefully it's hard to get corrosive biled, but it can also cover the ramp, and it is set up very nicely there. Corrosive biles, woo, what a dodge.
It does go down, which is very nice. But Bly still just holding this low ground, once again spreading creep all over on souL's side of the map. As this is going on though, souL, he's got 2 barracks out, so he's producing Marines, producing tanks, getting up medivacs, so just going to be waiting for Stim and maybe going to be trying to break this once he has a significant amount of muscle, because, I mean, Stimmed Marines are not bad versus Ravagers.
No, not at all. Especially with medevac support. Natural base is coming up for Bly back home. That tank fire on the ramp is enough to send Bly out of there too.
It is. So Bly, it's, like, he knows that he can't kill his opponent, but he's spreading his creep wonderfully. He's even mining on souL's side of the map. A little bit insulting for the Terran player there. But
that's a lot of mining. Wow.
It is, yeah. You don't usually see 8 drones. But,
at this little proxy hatch. Nope. Alright, so I mean, yeah, souL needs to do something, and soon. That stim is wrapping up now.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that many Marines. Well, he's got 16. Oh, pardon me. I was wondering where the rest of them were. They're out on a drop.
Ah, okay. Yes, there we go.
This could get something done here for souL. He's flying over this base, though, so Bly is going to know that it's on the way. But then again, what can he do versus 8 stimmed Marines when he's really only got a queen on his side of the map?
I was going to say, I would have rather seen him go into the main base, which he's doing now. That queen is toast.
And then these drones are in trouble. All they can really do is run, so this is actually a fantastic move for souL. Instead of just going for the big break, he's just now got Marines fighting drones, a couple of slowlings, and a single roach pop out. And souL just having the time of his life, shredding up these drones, killing off a good number of them here.
And there's the heal as well. I mean, these drones are in so much trouble. Bly had a nice worker advantage. It is slowly being whittled down here.
Yeah, this really hurts. And oh, look at this. souL even dropping from the back here. Dropping his own base, in a sense. Gets out with the medivac. That was a little close, but...
I mean, that's going to be 23 workers killed here in the first 7 minutes of the game. Some roaches do pop out, and they do manage to defend a little bit, but now it's 27 to 23 workers. The good news is the bases are alive for Bly, and if he has enough roaches to defend these, he's still in a pretty decent position despite losing all of those workers.
Yeah, the thing is, Bly was trying to take his lead and run with it, but souL just said, no, that's not happening. And he really just took any lead that Bly had built away from him. souL's getting his command center on the high ground. That's one of the benefits of Terran. So it's going to take him a while to finally have secured this base, but he's working on it. And still just building up more Marines, moving out with another drop here. So it looks like he may just try and... He's just not even bothering trying to take his natural. He's just flying everything over, and soon he's going to have... Hold on, math is hard. 8, 8, 8. 24 Marines on...
24?
That's a lot of Marines. I mean, with Stim, that's definitely more than 4 roaches can handle, I think. So souL could honestly just be rolling in here and just bopping Bly.
Well, he needs to do it soon because he is running out of minerals inside his main base. He has no intention of expanding. Here comes the counter coming right into this natural base. Yeah, these roaches know they have met their match. They are running. They are getting focused down, trying to take out as many Marines as they can. Got additional roaches and lings popping out here, but this is +1/+1 Marines with Stim. I don't think it's going to happen. He needs to bring some units back home, and he is. He's bringing lings back home as fast as they can run. This main base in trouble again for Bly, and souL trying to focus down this lair. What's he going for?
Yeah, he's just happy with the damage he's getting done. Bly's got to try and do something to save this lair, but souL, beautiful positioning there on the Marines, hiding in. The Medivacs are getting picked off. The rest of Bly's army has come back. He's abandoned the siege on souL, but he loses his lair. He's lost a absolute ton of workers here. And now souL knows that he's free. He's finally free to break out, and he can now actually attack his third base, or Bly's base, whatever you want to call it. And no, souL just has done wonderful, just picking Bly apart here.
Yep, killing that lair was huge for him. And, oh, did he actually... I was going to say, is he going to keep this Medivac alive? He's trying to do it. Medivac only has 14 hit points, but no queens around to shoot it down. That creep reduces very, very quickly, recedes quickly in this latest patch. Has been for a while now, and the natural base is finally going to land for souL. But Bly does keep that third base. That third base location, and he's happily mining from it.
Because,
that's true. Where is the... He's got Roaches and Ravagers out here. He's trying to hold it. souL breathes a big sigh of relief. He can actually transfer down to this natural. He was way oversaturated in his main. And here come the Roaches and Ravagers, but... Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many Marines here at this point. The Medivac's healing them just does them absolute wonders. They've got Combat Shield as well.
The drop came back on the other side.
Oh, did it? Oh, this is just painful. souL's playing very well, just... I mean, it's tough to make a call like this just to keep... it. I mean, holding an attack like this, it's like, do I just try and break the ramp? But souL opting to go for all this dropping, just being able to get enough damage done. Bly's trying to rebuild his main base, which is never a good sign. And
yeah, if you're trying to rebuild your main and you're still alive, it's not great for you. That said, these Marines getting a little bit acid to the face here, pushing out, clearing out some more creep on the other side here too. Roaches and Ravagers, maybe trying to catch these guys out of position, but
souL just doesn't care. He's just trading out, retreating. He's up on army supply, and for a Bioterran versus Roach Ravager, that is a tremendously good sign. Now Marines also picking off some more Overlords here, just continuously being a nuisance, and souL moving out, getting these tanks sieged up, taking a bite out of Bly here.
Yep, it looks like we're finally going to lose this forward base. It's been here for a while, but not enough Roaches and Ravagers. The Creeps are doing okay for themselves. More Roaches are cruising on in. That tank fire, and that's a complete abandonment of that forward hatch, and it is gone.
Yeah, souL managing to destroy this base. I mean, we're 11 minutes into this game, and this is a very Bly game here. But it's looking pretty good for souL, but he finally cleans up his third base here. Ling's going to run into these tanks, nowhere else really to go, so they are getting cleaned up. And now Bly, he's going to try and play this one out. He's equal on workers as the Terran player. He's getting up a third base, making more Roaches, just wanting to hold on. Looking for some counterattacks, which could be very good for him. But souL getting up a bunker on his side of the map. Got a couple of Marines here. Is it going to be enough to hold on? SCV's being pulled. Good reaction there. There's not too many Lings.
Yeah, this attack is looking really strong for souL. He's got his Marines, he's got his tanks. And Roaches and Ravagers start to scale really poorly against the Terran as their upgrades start kicking in here. +1 is on the way. Natural base is pretty well defended here with the bunker. I think a counterattack, which it looks like Bly is going for, might be able to get through this and cause some problems. But defending against this huge attack on the other side is going to be a problem. The third base for Bly down south is just not going to finish here. These queens.
Yeah,
there's just no saving
only
them.
does you so much good. But just army supply ahead for souL. He's going to be having his +1 attack done soon, which those Marines will just shred through the Roaches. Third base for Bly going to be going down from the looks of it. He's going to have to try and make a stand here. He's just wants to go for it, but he knows that he can't. It's just rocking a hard place here for Bly. These Marines are absolutely just massacring the Roaches. GG. souL takes a 2-1 lead.
Very, very nicely done there by souL. There was a minute there where he was stuck on one base and he was getting mined out, or I was worried about him, but the drops were fantastic. The control of that was really, really good, and able to reestablish his natural base, get up to the standard Marine take Medivac composition, and finish the deal. Nicely done, souL. Takes that 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Bly versus souL, always great. And we'll get on into the next map here.
Which is...
It's going to be King's Cove.
Ooh, King's Cove, another new map here.
Yeah, it's basically, what was that underwater map?
Abyssal Reef.
Abyssal Reef. It's basically Abyssal Reef 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you look at the design, it's pretty similar to Abyssal Reef. When you look for it, you really see it. But
all right, I'll have to take a look here.
You'll see it, man. I'm telling you.
I made the mistake of trying to join on you. And
let's just give it a minute.
It's not working.
Pray
all right,
for Falcon, guys.
Pray hard. Duh, I can't wait anymore. Boop.
Oh.
We will reload. It's on an SSD, so it launches pretty quickly, and then I'll have you invite again. That seems to be what we need to do today, I guess.
You gotta have StarCraft on an SSD. It's one of the one of the things.
All right, cool. So I'm back in, and waiting on that invite. Let's hop on there.
Yes. You need one of those, huh?
I do. Sadly, I'm dependent right now. Hey, and that worked. Surprise. Don't know why. I'll take it.
Okie dokie. So, souL and Bly heading to map number 4, and everyone is ready, so we're loading on into the game. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning into Afreeca World. It's a bit of different time than our, say, usual, which I guess is the evening events. But, no, I mean, there's a lot of great StarCraft all over the world, so sometimes we gotta hop around.
Yeah, which is cool. That's the best part about StarCraft, really, is there are players from everywhere that are great.
Okie dokie, but we're in the game here. It's a best of 5. This man spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map got himself a 2-1 lead. It's souL.
And Bly fighting for his Zergy life here in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove. It is Bly.
No proxy hatch. Wait. I thought that drone was going to the natural, but...
He heard you, and he's like, aha, you think I'm not going to do it again? I'll show you, LaughNgamez.
Bly has got somewhere to be, I swear. But I mean, that
last game was 20 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't even that quick. I mean, usually they're pretty quick.
That was a 20-minute proxy hatch game. Go figure.
Okay.
Usually bad for the proxy hatch at that point.
It is. I mean,
there it is.
We'll see. This time he's changing it up. Not really going for the 3rd, I guess. Going for the 4th. A little bit out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
So yeah, probably harder to scout.
Yeah, I mean, because I think even like the default scouting on this map, say like you queue up an SCV from your natural, it doesn't check here. So souL will have to explicitly look for this if he wants to find it. Reaper is queued to souL's 3rd base, so...
the trick might work then.
And here we go. Is souL going to be prepared for this? Reaper's moving out, checks the 3rd base. So far, he's thinking all's well, but no, he actually does find the proxy hatchery. This is very, very good for souL, getting that heads up once again. Gotta be saying, oh, come on. Come on, Bly.
Again.
But he knows he's playing against Bly, so here we go. Double bunker on the way up. Once again, that Reaper going to be keeping tabs on everything, but souL, I imagine he's just going to go for the Cyclone once more. And that
yeah, he
Reaper,
seems pretty comfortable with it and seems to work out for him pretty well, too.
Yeah, that Reaper just shooting away on that hatchery, so Bly's like, oh, you know. And, Marine chasing this Overlord back, trying to soften him up as possible.
Yep, Overlord coming over to provide that high ground vision. The Ravagers will need 2 Overlords actually coming in for that purpose. And the Reaper heading out across the map. I think the Reaper's intending to harass the main base.
Yeah,
see what he can do. Maybe
there,
kind of distract Bly a little bit. Yeah, he can't really do much, but maybe mess him up just a tiny bit while he's trying to focus so much on the front here.
2 Ravagers are getting their Corrosive Biles working away on this supply depot. Looks like that'll be going down for souL. He starts up another at the back of his base, but he's got his Cyclone out now, so this should bode well for him here. Locks onto one of the Ravagers. Bly's going to have to micro that back. souL's actually just chasing it. Wow, but gotta be careful with that Cyclone.
Yeah, actually broke that lock-on. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little bit risky for souL, but you got to give it to him for trying to make that happen. Meanwhile, where'd that injured Ravager go? The injured Ravager is very far back for Bly, wanting to make sure that stays alive. Bly continuously corrosive bottling these. Another supply depot is going to be going down relatively soon, although it is getting repaired, so not just yet.
Not quite yet. Trying to lock on and kill that Overlord. They do manage to get it. Corrosive Bile going to actually focus down the supply depot, and it is going to die. There's no repairing it there. Mule's coming down. We did not supply block souL. He was prepared for that eventuality. Repairing that Cyclone, but he's not part of this battle now, and that Roche can probably get out of the lock-on range. He does, and so far so good here from Bly. He's got a pretty decent army lead, 26-15.
Here we go, the souL locking onto that Overlord. Shutting down the high ground vision is so critical for the Terran player.
Yep, and so far he's been pretty great at it. There's another Overlord ready to rock here. There's not moving in a position. Now actually breaking off that lock again by Bly. He really knows how to handle these Cyclones in the early game anyway, as the creep continues to spread up this ramp. Yeah, man, that creep tumor is so close to the ramp right now. Natural base going on for Bly back home at this stage of the game. Got a lot of queens being produced. Spore Crawler coming up to the front. He really just wants to kill those Cyclones, but he can't now that there's a tank out. And he's going to retreat down that ramp.
Bly's trying to expand back at home. He's sending his drones across the map, though. I guess he's just oversaturated and going to start mining over here.
Yeah, makes sense. Might as well use that Hatcher if he's got it. Man, these tumors are creeping up this ramp. souL needs to break out now. He's getting stim. He's getting Marines. The Cyclones are trying to come down and do some stuff, but maybe a scan on these tumors? Maybe, what is your priority here? So far, it looks like trying to kill these Ravagers, but he can't quite pull it off. These lock-ons are getting broken all over the place, and now transfusers are coming in from the queens.
Yeah, the injured Cyclones make me a little bit nervous, so souL gonna repair them up once again. As this game is going on, Bly, I mean, Ling's on the way. He's getting speed, Roaches, Ravagers. 2 tanks on the high ground for souL. 3 tanks, pardon me, so there's no chance that Bly breaks this. But, yeah, alright, Cyclones lock on to those Ravagers. Command center flying.
souL once again cruising in with his orbital command. I hope he doesn't lose it again. That's what caused him to lose game number 2. Really keeping that Cyclone alive. Managing to get it back inside the main base there, which is fantastic for him. But at 35 to 32 workers, souL is incredibly oversaturated right now. He can't do anything in his main base with any more SCVs, especially with the mules that are coming in. And it's just, he's doing great keeping his Cyclones alive, though. He's going to get 1 Ravager there, almost losing a Cyclone in the process, and does manage to just lock on. No, manages to break the lock on and keep that Spore alive. Nice job, Bly.
Yeah, now souL, he's just been hanging on. We've seen Bly, he's made a lot of Lings this time, so it looks like he maybe is going to try and break this, but there's so many Marines, they're going to have stim, 3 tanks on the high ground. I think it's going to be suicide if Bly tries to break this, but I guess he feels like he's got to try. So these Cyclones still just harassing continuously. I mean, they're not getting tons done, but how is Bly going to break this? Like,
I don't think he has to. I honestly think you just starve him out.
Oh, these Lings are going to try and catch these Cyclones. A few of them going up the ramp. Looks like Bly's just going for it up the ramp. There's stim Marines plenty, though, waiting. And that definitely does hurt.
Too many Marines there. Got 1 of the tanks and both of the Cyclones, which is a pretty good pickup for Bly. But the Marine count's getting insane. I really kind of want to see Bly go into Banelings right now. Just the number of Marines that have been causing him trouble here. Banes might be the right idea.
Yeah, he does have a lair, so he could get Bane speed. I think that last sort of engagement would have gone a lot better for him if he had high ground vision, but souL just continuously has been killing off the Overlords. These queens are now trapped. Bly has no choice but to try and save him here. There's just not enough, it looks like. Corrosive Bile being dropped on down. Marine's going to be stimming these units down. Bly losing a ton of units here. souL with the stim and bio just powering through.
Yeah, but looks like... Oh, yeah, the creep tumors are getting focused down, and now the creep should recede to the point where we can land our natural base. He's heading over, trying to make that happen. A queen thought about maybe getting up there, but the Marines are a little bit scary right now. Not going to try to get up. More and more roaches on the way. More Ravagers here, too. Army supply, 56 to 45 for Bly, but tanks are really great. Corrosive Vials, once again, dodged. Stimming forward here is souL. And I just don't see it. I don't see Bly being able to stop this from happening. The natural base does end up landing here once again to the relief of souL. He transfers over in 19 SCVs immediately to start harvesting from there. And this just looks way too familiar.
Yeah, it does. Very similar to the past games. Bly just trying the same strategy, but I mean, not having the most success with it here. Siege tank's now going to be able to shut down the mining here at this location. That's a decent chunk of Bly's income that's going to be going away. He's going to have to send those drones back to his natural. Losing a lot of money in that, but so far Bly just making more roaches, making more lings. And maybe he's just going to try and go for it here.
Man, that tank just keeps shelling that forward hatchery of Bly's. It's a great position there for souL. And he is setting up to go for a bit of a 180 surround anyway, coming in from different angles.
Yeah, those Ravagers are... That's 3 Ravagers. They want to try and corrosive bile a tank. souL doing a good job making sure there's a buffer for him, though. Few lings walk forward, eating tank shots. I mean, I don't know. Like,
he's got to go up ramps no matter what he does, and that just seems like suicide.
Yeah, like, it's just... There's so many Marines here, too. Bly's got a decent supply lead, so, I mean, his army is pretty scary. souL's got a fantastic spread on his bio though, and it looks like Bly is going to be going for it. He's pulling the trigger now. Lings and roaches coming in from every side. Pretty good timing on this. Corrosive Bile's hitting some of the tanks. They're starting to fall. 2 tanks are still at the back, but there's so much bio here for souL, pardon me. Looks like, there's just so much. SCV's even pulled for souL to act as a buffer, and Bly not able to break it. He trades out, picks off a few of the tanks, but oh man, he took a lot of losses there.
Yeah, the Stim Marines just performing so well for souL there. Just dodging corrosive biles, and otherwise you're going to be okay. Especially with the 3 medevacs in the sky. Now it's time for the offense out of souL. He's going to go ahead and fly up with his medevac, try to get some drop stuff done. Bly has literally nothing in his main base. No queens, no spores, no nothing. His natural has a queen, which is nice, but the response time is going to be slow. And just more and more roaches are streaming across the map from Bly here. He wants to break this, and I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, Bly's got an Evo chamber on the way here. But, no, this is looking pretty painful here for Bly. Marine's going to drop on this hatchery the second it starts. And so that hatchery is done. Bly has no choice but to cancel it. Just he's mining out on his main base. souL's really just going full 2-base Terran here. He's going to have his 1-1 done soon. And here goes Marines getting into Bly's main base. But there's just nothing here.
Nothing. Still nothing. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and cancel that upgrade. That +1 Grand Carapace, I think, is going to die. He does cancel it, losing a couple Marines in the process. But nice denial there. No upgrades at all for these dudes at this point. I mean, we're looking at Glial Reconstitution and Speed, and that is it. souL is landing a 3rd base that Roaches denied temporarily, but then I went ahead and landed anyway as the Roaches decided to pull back and deal with this 3-4 medevac drop out of souL into the main base. Not a great place to land, man. There's a lot of Roaches and Ravagers here, but he's going for it. No, never mind.
He does change his mind. Can't be that disrespectful to Bly, just unloading right in his face there, so got to be careful now. It looks like Bly planning a counterattack. souL's got his 3rd base up here at this point. But can Bly get some counter damage done while souL's army is near his natural as well? Command center's
burning.
Yeah. But it's just souL's army is looking pretty scary at this point. He's got a ton of bio here. Bly's moving out with his roaches. They're rather split up. They're going to be running head-on first into this army, but not the whole army is here. So Bly is sort of streaming into this army of souL. He's keeping him back, but he's down on bases as the Zerg player. I do like the fact that Bly has gone for Infestors. I mean, that's really, like, it's a pretty good style. Roach Ravager Infestor. But, these roaches just getting trapped in here.
Wow.
Killing off a few SCVs, but...
Yeah, I mean, Roach Ravager, just as time goes on, loses its effectiveness against bio so quickly. 2-2s coming in. The Infestors are going to help, but they no longer root units with their fungal. They just slow them, and a good Marine player, a good Terran player will split those Marines when they get fungled. And the Corrosive Bile is going to do nearly as much as it used to back in the earlier patches of Legacy of the Void. So, I mean, the Creep Spread is beautiful for Bly, just because, again, he started from the right side and the left side. Mostly right side, though, based on these paths.
Is it going to make it home is the question. Like, it's almost there.
Yeah, I think it'll make it, but it's getting picked up from the backside here, too, as souL is taking out some of these creep tumors.
Yeah, okay. Now, I mean, Bly's moving out on the map. He's got his Roach Ravagers, but look at the supply. He's down 40 supply. He's trying to get up his third base desperately. And, I mean, I'm going to say there's always a chance with Roach Ravager Infestor that you'll get some amazing pick-off or something like that. But this army of souL, it's looking scary. It's moving forward. Is Bly going to be even paying attention to this army as it rolls up? There we go. He sees it. He's going to be looking for a good fungal now. He gets a decent one, throws down a couple of Corrosive Biles, but has to back off.
Yeah, man, this drop doing some work. Too many Roaches and a Queen going to pick up and boost out of there, but the army in the middle of the map is just looking intimidating. It's 108 to 79 army supply, and when you're Roach Ravaging versus Marine tank there, that army supply is really, really important, and Bly is just not in the place he needs to be to make this work.
Yeah, and the upgrades are also going to be absolutely huge. I mean, looking at this, yeah, it's just 2-2 for souL, whereas Bly only on +1 Carapace. So if he's going to be able to take this army, it's really got to be all about the Corrosive Bile, all about the fungal growth, which don't really rely on the upgrades at all. And I mean, I do like the fact that Bly's out on the map. He's posturing to try and prevent the Terran really from getting a siege up with his tanks here. But, oh man, souL also just dropping around here. Oh, fungal goes down, whiffs though. Not catching much.
Not much, and the Biles miss as well. Got another drop in the north, trying to drop and clear some creep tumor, trying to go after this third base of Bly, but once again, man, a proxy hatch turns into a 20-minute game. I don't know how Bly does this. It's weird.
This is just a standard opening. Oh, Bly moving to the high ground with his Ravagers. Could get some good fungal or Corrosive Biles on these tanks. He does. However, his Ravagers are split off from the rest of his army. Now, got to be careful. Some Infestors, or Infestors going really every which way. These Ravagers are being caught. A good fungal growth goes down. A second one being added to it. So, actually killing off a good number of Marines there. I think that was a pretty decent trade there for Bly.
I like the fungals. There's a Liberator in the north at the third base of Bly, though, forcing a full pull of all of those drones. A small group in the middle here getting chased off, too.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to Bly for making a game of this. Like, he knows that this style has potential for comebacks. Picks off the Liberator, which is nicely done, but this has given souL a chance to get forward. And now we see Bly got to deal with this fungal growth's going down, but the Ravager's not there to deal with the tanks. The Infestor's taking some nasty shots, just throwing out really Hail Mary fungals to try and save themselves. But it's at this point in which souL is sort of inching forward now, and Bly, he's gonna have to fight into these tanks. Infestors are very good defensively, but offensively not the best here. And there's just the upgrades too, like
yeah, the upgrades are huge. The tanks are continuing to fire. They do get taken down by Corrosive Bile. You know what? Tacking up this ramp might not be a good idea for souL, to be honest here. There's a lot of fungals going down.
Yeah, a lot of fungals for Bly, but as this is going on, the natural base is getting hit hard. I mean, Bly is sort of catching up in upgrades here. He's going to be making it 1-2 to 2-2, so a lot better than it was. Got to deal with this Liberator, though, and he doesn't seem to have anything in position. There we go, one Queen coming back to send this away. Drone's got to get back to mining there. I mean, Bly's surviving.
He is, but just being down 98 to 68 army supply, 67 to 41 workers is just... It feels insurmountable here. Larva getting taken down by the 16-kill Liberator. It does get fungled, which allows the Queens the time to actually pick it off.
Oh, the fourth base for Bly. Nice. Oh, it gets killed.
No.
He can't really afford that. If he fungals all these injured Marines, that would be a very nice pick-off, but souL knows that too, and retreats on out.
Yeah, souL's happily sitting on 4 bases. He's very pleased with himself, and that is looking really bad for Bly. Liberator with 5 kills now at the natural base. I mean, this is the number of drones killed in this game is 28 so far in the first 17 minutes of this one.
Yeah, the supply was evening up for a second, but it's not looking like that. Oh, look at this. As this BM drops here, souL unloading Marines on top of Bly's army. He's just coming on in once again. Infestors are throwing out Fungals, trying to give it all they can, but the Ravagers are not with this fight, which is really what Bly needs, and GG gets called. souL takes the 3-1.